Hey, I'm finally able to post an archive. I remember a year back, I said I wanted to have a preprint posted on archive by the end of 2025. I wasn't able to do that. I had some stuff in the works, but didn't turn out to anything. And then at the start of 2026, I was working on Jeremichi Inform Neural Networks, submitted that to ICLR, I believe, didn't get in. Honestly, it wasn't that good. The stuff wasn't working as well as I had hoped. It's a very promising idea. I think it's probably one of the best applications of the whole world model idea I've thought of, but didn't work out. And then I don't even remember, but I transitioned into um the more generative aspect. Long story short, physics can be Gaussians, right? And then did a paper, submitted to CVPR, and got it, thank God. And that's the CVPR 4D Vision Workshop. But the thing is, for the longest time, when people have asked for the paper, I've always had to send them the link hosted on the Star Labs website because I wasn't able to post an archive. Because to post an archive, you have to be sponsored by someone in that specific drug. So if you want to post to computational biology, you have to be sponsored by someone who's posted to computational biology before, which does make me wonder how far does it go? Like the chicken and the egg situation. Like who was the first person to post in that track? But it's probably like they had like a general track and then they sorted it after. But who knows? Anyways, one of the people, one of the PhD students who's in the Gaussian Spy reading group I'm in, that I joined thanks to him. Um, he said, okay, I sent him the paper. I said, okay, let me know your thoughts. And then if you could, we had a whole conversation about research and he was giving me some advice so I could be a better researcher and all that. And then I told him like, oh yeah, I just can't post an archive because I'm legally not allowed to by the system. So I said, he said, I send him the paper and then he'll look at it. And then if he can, in good faith, sponsor me, then he'll do it. Cause it's not like a matter of money. It's literally just saying, hey, this guy's not bought and this is like some dumb paper. So he did that. Thank God, I'm finally able to post. But I am meeting with him on Friday to go over some of his thoughts, some of his improvements. I do suspect like the first major one is going to be quantitative evaluations because that's something that's really missing from the whole work in terms of Gaussian flux. Because Gaussian flux, the closest thing to its field to it is Fizz Gaussian. But then there's not really much to compare because I think they have used the same solver. The only difference would really be per particle. Originally, when and this is a bunch of buzzwords, I'm going to say a word wrong here. But originally, when I started, I was using a total Langerian approach because I was thinking of more so in the idea of like you want to have the first state be referenced and all that. But then I said expand to more material types, not just elastic bodies, but like more different bodies types, right? Stuff like deformable objects or granular or less updated engine is better. So then I went to similar to Fitzgaussian. I went to their approach, but then before I did that, I had a really good comparison between total Nigerian and updated Nigerian. I think I'm saying Nigerian wrong here, and that was like the only quantitative evaluation I had. Or quantitative metric I had in my work, but since I switched to solvers, I just had to remove it because it was no longer relevant. Uh, you know that. Long story short, though, I no longer have a quantitative evaluation because there's not really much to evaluate on, right? Even with my per particle difference and my the capability of my system to do extra stuff like thermodynamics, you can't really compare something like, oh, one group has thermodynamics and the other has no thermodynamics, 0 and 1. Like you can't do that. You have to have some metric that's actually makes sense. And the one I'm thinking of as I'm working to make fit Gaussian Flush a full paper and submit to CVP or 2026 and WACV, which is going to be hosted in Disneyland in January, which will be really awesome to go to. Is I'm thinking of actually testing the real physics because all these say physics, physics Gaussian, Gaussian Flash, physics motion, all these are like, oh, we do physics, but then what does that actually mean, right? And I want to actually just use known physics problems. Like you can think of algebra, you can think of um just known physics problems and actually test the systems on that, test the solvers to see if they actually do the job properly. And if they don't, I can say, okay, I'm just going to improve mine, make sure it's more realistic. And I'll say, okay, mine does a better job in terms of actual physics. And then from there, I can like submit that to the full paper. Because I do think it's a worthwhile paper. It's really just missing that big evaluation of saying, hey, this is actually better, not just in terms of qualitative stuff, but in terms of just some metric. So I'm excited to do that. But besides that, I think it's been a really big goal of mine to be able to post an archive for a long time now. So being able to do that is a milestone in itself, and I'm really excited to see the work I do. I don't think it's the end of anything. I think it's more so just more reason to keep on going. I think it's like the gym. When you first start, you don't really see improvements, but you get the foundations right. You get a taste for it, and eventually, before you know, you're going like start seeing small things change here and there. And I think um, this is just one of those small things, even though it's really big for me. Nonetheless, besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.